To make things easier for you and to save you time, on most videos in the description is a bullet point outline of topics discussed during these interviews. And also, I placed the highlights of the discussion right at the beginning of this interview, at the beginning of every interview. And it all starts right after this quick introduction of the Global Healing Hub at the 2-minute and 30-second mark. Hope you enjoy it. On this channel, the Global Healing Hub, we interview healers, practitioners, and medical professionals from across the globe, talking about non-traditional healing methods and how they can help you and the people that you care about. In other words, I talk to mystics, mediums, intuitives, nurses, doctors, therapists, shamans, all discussing and practicing holistic, alternative, and complementary methods for healing. These people and these healing modalities can open you up to some real change. They're the real deal. And you can connect with them for a private, one-on-one, remote, or in-person session through the Global Healing Hub website. My name is Lauren Duffy, and I've always enjoyed self-help and motivational programs. A couple years ago, I came face to face with some energetic therapies and principles that challenged my belief system, and so my curiosity began. As I continued on this journey, it's become clear to me that we are all truly energetically connected in a very real and tangible way. Because of these awarenesses and because of this profound shift that I've experienced, I've been drawn to create this resource called the Global Healing Hub. The Global Healing Hub is dedicated to educating and connecting people to healing modalities and the practitioners that offer them. On the website, theglobalhealinghub.com, you will find not only the interviews with the healing practitioners, but also blogs, podcasts, videos, links, and channels, as well as wellness products, services, and even workshops. I really hope you will join this growing community and explore your world of empowerment, freedom, and a greater well-being during this global movement. Hello, everybody. Today we're talking to Bo Bissett. For many years, this man punished himself and drank himself into oblivion. Bo's an authentic guy. He's the real deal. He had extreme struggles, and yet he continued to search until he found a method that worked for him and also had lasting change. He embraced it, he refined it, and now he delivers what is called Amo Ni, which means I love you, to people all over the world. We also talk about kids and their potential to learn these tools and the important shift and understandings that this would allow to unfold for this new generation. I really hope you enjoy this discussion, and don't forget to hit that like button and the subscribe button. Thank you. Take care.
That's the beauty of muscle testing, beauty of the emotions work is like you using muscle testing, you establish a direct line of communication between you and your body, and you ask a question and your body answers. Your body tells you, yes, there's something here. No, there's nothing here. Right. And then this is where it's at. This is what it is. And once you start listening to your body, once you start talking and listening, the lines of communication open, and it's a really beautiful experience because, for me, beforehand, I felt like I was fighting life, and I felt like I was always swimming upstream, and now I just feel like I'm swimming in a lake. It ingrains a deeper social responsibility because once you know that you can talk to your own body and then to others as well. And then to help others, you start to realize once you go down that rabbit hole, like, whoa, this anger that I'm feeling towards this person is actually affecting this person. Like I'm sending that anger out to this person, and that person is being affected by the emotions and the thoughts that I'm carrying and projecting towards them.
Your story it's a powerful one. So I was, of course, looking at your website and all that good stuff. And so I'm going to read a little bit what I have here. So you had some pretty severe addiction problems. You went through 35 years of self-abuse. You nearly died twice in 2 separate car accidents. And in the first crash, you saw your grandfather, who had passed a couple years before, and he told you to go back because it was not your time yet.
Yeah.
And quote, I regretted that decision for another 20 years, unquote. That's pretty hardcore, man. It sounds like you've really had, a good number of challenging years, and you've been searching, trying different methods, trying to heal yourself. And it sounds like you found something that works very well, and now you're here to share that method with other people. Can you tell us, a little bit about some of your early experiences and, that transition to getting a little, sobering up, and this path to this modality that you now offer to people?
But yeah, when I was young, and I was always angry at myself, and I was always thinking like, I was no good. And
Gotcha.
yeah, I blew out my knee playing soccer when I was like 15. And I was like, how I identified with myself. I was like a soccer player. That was me, and then I lost that. And then I went off the deep end. I basically looked for any way to just punish myself even further. I got in trouble with the law. Like I said before, with the drinking was just horrendous. Then I went to university, I got into cocaine, and then, everything else you can get your hands on to. And when I was in my 20s, I graduated school. I had decent grades, but I was still floundering. And in my 20s, I was just like, I'm out. And I left the States. And so then I ended up in the Czech Republic taking an English course to teach English, as a second language. And that's what brought me to Taiwan.
I see. Okay.
And then I traveled from Taiwan I lived in Spain and Mexico, in the Czech Republic, Vietnam. So and I just kept looking and looking and looking, and just I would have some clarity every once in a while, but then the drinking would grab me and just pull me back under.
Like, when did you realize that there was stuff out there that had the potential to help you?
Probably about 10 years ago. Yeah, I was staying with family, and actually with my aunt and uncle. My aunt was going through breast cancer at the time, and then I was still drinking like a fish, and my body started breaking down, and I was like, all right, man, like you said, like you quoted off the website, I was tired. I didn't want to do it anymore. I didn't want to do it I hadn't wanted to do it for ages. And I realized when my body started breaking down, I was like, man, this is not gonna, it's not gonna happen like I wanted. I had always imagined that I'd just go to sleep one night, drunk off my butt, and I wouldn't wake up the next morning. And when the physical stuff started happening, I was like, all right, it's not happening like that. It's going to be long, it's going to be arduous, and it's going to be, very painful. And I'm no stranger to pain, but I was just kind of getting sick and tired of pain. So that's when I started looking. I started reading. One of the first books I read was Molecules of Emotion. I can't remember the author's name. Candace Pert, I believe. She was like a neurophysicist. And she talks about the implications of the cellular implications of our emotions. And I was like, well, that hit pretty heavy for me. That book, The Molecules of Emotion, is mega science. And it's more of a personal journey of a woman's, it's a woman's journey in science and her trials and tribulations as a woman. And there was no spiritual stuff in there, which was kind of good, because at that point I wasn't having it. Like,
fair enough. Right.
I was like totally like, religion, like organized religion sucks. Spirituality is bullshit.
Right.
we are here, living a painful existence. And then one day we die and we end up worm food. Like that
Gotcha.
was my thought process at the time.
So what was the first thing that kind of gave you some hope? Like, is there a particular modality? I mean, I know muscle testing, like you dove right into that. It was very helpful. That opened your eyes wide open. But I think you had also mentioned there were a couple things that, worked for a short while. They didn't have lasting effects, but was there anything that kind of opened your eyes to the possibility of, if you found the right modality, you might be able to, make that, embrace that?
So I've been on this path. I've done the Dr. Joe Dispenza's. I've done Mountain Valley stuff. I've done like meditation retreats. I've done, hundreds of books, just everything you can think of. My belief was so strong, like, because I wanted to heal and I wanted to like just get this monkey off my back. And it would seem like my belief would carry me just to the edge of where I needed to go. And then, my years of programming just would yank me back and be like, nah, I'm sorry, dude, you're not allowed to.
Yeah, that's a very good analogy, actually. We're so heavily wired that it often pulls us back into that rut.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And that was that's the frustrating part. And the thing is, that's what I've learned about frustration, is because I was so frustrated for so long, but then over the last couple of years, I've realized that like frustration can be your greatest friend, because it's that frustration that lets you know that when you feel frustrated, you're going against your subconscious. And that's why you're frustrated, because you have a conscious intention to move forward, to change, to stop eating, to stop drinking, to start exercising, to do whatever, right? And then that frustration you feel from not being able to doing it, for stopping yourself from doing something, or from starting to do something. That frustration is your conscious intention going against your subconscious beliefs, your subconscious programs that are keeping you where you are.
So outside of Joe Dispenza, did you try things like meditation or any other programs that, like?
I got on Mind Valley. I spent like thousands of dollars on Mind Valley courses.
Okay.
I can't even tell you what I've done. But yeah, meditation was definitely one of the ones that I did. Meditation really, and I still use meditation to this day. I probably meditate a couple times a week, first thing in the morning, maybe 5-10 minutes, just to like ground me.
Right.
But the thing is, I've kind of littered it on my website and some social media stuff. Like I use the hashtag meditation takes too long.
Yes, I actually have a note. It says meditation is fantastic. However, the problem with meditation and many other tools is they take too long.
Yeah. And so that's what, like, the beauty of the modalities that I use now. It's like, I'm somebody that likes to, if there's a problem, I want to find out what it is, and I want to get rid of it.
Right.
And I don't want to screw around. I don't want to sit in a chair for an hour and, I want to like search and destroy, boom, get rid of it. And that's what muscle testing does.
So I'm kind of on the same page with you there. I try to meditate. I do meditate. I struggle with meditation. And of course, that's part of the practice, right? Or at least that's what I've been told. And meditation's fantastic. I mean, it really, truly is. It's something that I recommend everybody doing. That stillness in your mind, or the attempted stillness in your mind. Even if you attempt it, you're probably still more still than scrolling through Facebook or whatever.
I agree.
That being said, I personally have been walloped by quite a few different modalities that have affected me in a profound, immediate way. So much so that, like, that's kind of my go-to. And it sounds like for you, your big wallop aha moment was muscle testing. In fact, it's interesting. So my big eye-opening experience happened at a Tony Robbins event. The first thing I stepped into was people doing muscle testing.
Wow.
With and testing different things. And it totally blew my mind. And I spent the 4 days actually trying to debunk the whole thing. And we muscle tested everything and anything, including intentions, including cell phones, including, it was pretty nuts. But that was my first step to figuring out that there is a way to tap into your subconscious. And it sounds like that might have been the first like real big profound step that you took as well. That was with Dr. Hawkins, is that correct?
Yep, David Hawkins. The end result, you're talking about different modalities. The end result that any of us is looking for is self-awareness. And that can come with muscle testing, it can come with crocheting, it could come with playing basketball. But the thing is with muscle testing, like you can, like I said before, you can search and destroy, and you can find it, and you can just pull the emotions away like an onion peel. And once that happens, then the self-awareness happens so much quicker, especially when you know what you're looking for. And you use the muscle testing to just go through and find the emotions, use the release points to release the emotions, along with the Amo breath that we use as well. And, whereas, you can meditate or, like I said, crochet or basketball, whatever you're choosing to put you in the present moment. You can use those things, but you're basically just kind of sitting and hoping for something to happen. Whereas the muscle testing, you go in and you are finding and you're peeling away, and then the self-awareness is the end result of all of that emotional release.
So yeah, tell me a little about this session with Dr. Hawkins. Yeah. I guess where I'm going with this is regarding the muscle testing, so you can tap into your subconscious using muscle testing, figure out if you are congruent based on any given statement that you ask yourself or the other person. But you said that it helped actually release emotions for you. How did that happen? Because I have written down here that you did muscle testing, and then you spent a couple days, the following days and even weeks, crying and letting go, releasing more than you had, been crying probably in total in the last 30 or 40 years. And I'm wondering, like, what you did beyond muscle testing to allow for that letting go. Because to me, muscle testing is kind of a yes, no response for your body. But how did you take that to the next level to allow that to be a release of emotion?
This is the Meridian Chart that they use in kinesiology.
Gotcha. Okay.
And so basically, you use muscle testing to go through the chart and find out where, what to tag the emotions that you're looking for. So basically, let's say that I'll just do a chakra clear right now. So I use muscle testing. So I use the index finger and thumb of this hand, my left hand, and then of my my right hand, I use my thumb and pinky finger like this. And yes and no, so it's breaks on a no like that.
Correct.
And basically, so if I want to check my chakras, then I say, are the emotions attached to my first chakra? So if it stays, then it's a yes, right? And then I go through this chart, and I go through the Meridian Chart. Is it fire, earth, water, metal, water? Okay, so it's water. All right, so it breaks on the water meridian, and then in the water meridian you have is it bladder or kidney? Okay, so it breaks on kidney, right? And then in the kidney we have emotions. Is it fear, dread? All right, it breaks on dread. So that I know that in my first chakra I'm carrying some dread. All right, the release point for the kidney is here at the top of the chest. Take a deep breath, and I use the Amo breath. The Amo breath is it's a visual and vibratory breath to help move the emotions that we find.
Okay. So
So
basically, you're using muscle testing and a series of questions to determine what part of the body there's an issue and what the issue is. And then from there, you kind of breathe into the issue or release by using breath in that part of the body that the issue that you're focusing on.
Yep.
Gotcha. Okay, that makes sense.
That's the beauty of muscle testing, beauty of the emotions work is like you using muscle testing, you establish a direct line of communication between you and your body. And you ask a question and your body answers. Your body tells you, yes, there's something here. No, there's nothing here. Right. And then this is where it's at. This is what it is. And once you start listening to your body, once you start talking and listening, the lines of communication open, and it's a really beautiful experience because, for me, beforehand, I felt like I was fighting life, and I felt like I was always swimming upstream. And now I just feel like I'm swimming in a lake. You know,
That's wonderful.
I'm not fighting anything. I have my direction of intention that I'm headed in, but there are no currents that are keeping me from progressing in that direction. There are some obstacles here and there. There might be some floating driftwood that you got to move out of the way, or things like that.
Right.
But there's never that current is gone. So the fight is gone. I'm doing what I enjoy now. I'm helping other people find their path, and life is just easier.
So this work that you experienced through Dr. Hawkins, through muscle testing and a series of other things, you've kind of modified. And with that modification, you now refer to that modality as, is it Amo Ni?
Yeah, that's it. Yeah.
Okay. And again, I'm taking information off your website, but I wanted to mention it. It says Amo Ni means I love you. Amo in Spanish means I love, and Ni in Chinese means you. So it literally means I love you. It's a blended phrase using blended methodologies to awaken the healer in you, because you are a healer. We're all healers. Unfortunately, we just get cut off from our inner self, our inner voice, and we think things need to be a certain way, and we get stuck in that rut, and we lose a lot of that sense of empowerment. That's my belief.
We're so disempowered now. And the thing is, like, I'm not here to talk bad about the medical community. Like, I would not be here if it was not for doctors. Doctors saved my life multiple times. Modern medical technology and drugs, or pharmaceutical drugs, whatever you call them, saved my life.
Yes.
Multiple times. It has a place for sure. But the problem is, we've been so conditioned to believe that, if you have a sniffle, that you've got to go to the pharmacy and buy drugs, or if there's, and we have to tag everything. Everybody is so caught up in, I am ADHD, or I am, this, or I have that. It's like, stop. The problem, we need to stop placing all these tags on us, because each time we put a tag on us like that, we limit ourselves.
Yes.
And we just constantly limiting ourselves, and we've fallen victim to think that we don't have the power, that if we need to heal, we need this pill, or we need this concoction, or we need something else to heal. But no, you can heal. I can heal. Everybody can heal.
With muscle testing, you mentioned to me the other day on the phone, and I put more thought to it. And I think it's very important. You had mentioned that kids should learn muscle testing. It should be taught in schools.
Mm.
And of course, when I was talking on the phone, I was like, yes, I agree. I mean, I think it's very important, but I thought about it even more, and there's so many reasons why it should be taught in school. One is that everybody needs to know they can connect to their inner voice. Muscle testing can do that. It can allow you to be more sensitive to what your inner self is trying to say. Kids in general are more connected to their inner self, but a lot of that gets squelched, and blocks get formed as they get older. And so if muscle testing is something that can be learned by adults fairly easily, right? And actually, when you have someone working with you, it can be done just like that. You don't have to necessarily learn it. You just do it, and the stuff can be found out. So if you want to, like, anybody can go to someone who knows muscle testing, and you can have muscle testing done to you and be connected on some level to your inner self, which I think is very cool. Kids, I mean, they're a lot more connected to themselves. And if you learn a tool, if you teach them a tool like this, they will embrace it. And what's even neater is this. So, and we haven't even spoken about this yet. Muscle testing does not have to be done in person. You can link with someone remotely and muscle test someone on the other end. And that's really far out there. It's really bizarre. But it happens all the time. And it's just something that you can do. A skilled muscle tester can do this fairly easily. I mean, I had that done just a couple of days ago to me, and it's amazing. You could feel them. You could feel them actually kind of step into your energetics, and then they're linked to you, and they can muscle test on your behalf. But imagine if kids realize that they can muscle test not only themselves and have a better understanding of what's good for them in terms of food or thoughts, but imagine if they also embrace the fact that they can muscle test other people, that they can actually connect remotely to other people. Imagine if kids were brought up with the understanding that we are all connected. That would completely shift everything about what most people believe today, in my opinion. Because most people, I mean, I think more and more people believe that we're connected, and that's fine. And yeah, we're connected. But if you can truly link to someone else and muscle test someone else and know that you are etherically or cosmically or quantum physicsly, connected to someone else, that will completely change the way I think people will believe that humanity works in terms of a connection and consciousness. And I'm not sure if I'm getting my point across exactly totally correct, but I just think that is a message that speaks leaps and bounds.
It ingrains a deeper social responsibility, because once you know that you can talk to your own body and then to others as well, and then to help others, you start to realize that not only can you do that, but through that, you realize that you can influence other people. And then by realizing that, you start to realize, once you go down that rabbit hole, like, whoa, this anger that I'm feeling towards this person is actually affecting this person. Like, I'm sending that anger out to this person, and that person is being affected by the emotions and the thoughts that I'm carrying and projecting towards them. So it makes us much more responsible for our own emotions. And because,
so if people realize that, they'll send positive thoughts to other people on a more regular basis. They'll certainly be more mindful about sending negative thoughts to people, right?
Oh yeah.
And I mean, the first time I realized that we're connected is when I had remote energy work done, and I could feel it. Like this person that was in California was doing a remote energy session on me, and it felt like there was her thumb was in my solar plex, kind of like rooting around. And I was like, I was thinking to myself, you know, I feel something in my solar plex, and actually at the time I was like, I feel someone rooting around in my stomach, and I asked her, you know, where are you working? She's like, I'm working in your solar plex. I'm like, well, that's around my stomach. She goes, yeah, I could feel that. How can I feel that? She says, because I'm sending you energy in that particular place with a particular intention. And I'm like, well, you can't do that. She goes, you can do that. I'm doing it.
Yeah.
And now, of course, you know, we do, I'm do a fair amount of Reiki. I have, you know, some Reiki circles and stuff like that I lead. And most of it these days is done remotely, and I feel it all the time. And so anyway, so that's how I first realized that we're connected. And of course, we do muscle testing by linking to one another kind of virtually all the time now also. But if muscle testing was a practice, if people tuned into themselves with muscle testing, if people tuned into others using muscle testing, this whole, people would quickly realize that we are connected. And I just think that's so powerful.
It's very powerful. I totally agree.
Yeah. So yes, I agree. We should teach this in the schools.
I agree with it.
Well, tell me a little bit more about Amo Ni.
The foundational practices are muscle testing, the meridian release points that we use. We use the muscle testing and then the Meridian Chart to basically to tag what it is and where it is in our body. Then when there are corresponding release points to those to the meridians and the organs in those. And then we use the Amo breath, which is it's basically a visual and vibratory breath that we use to move the emotions as we connect with them, and then also use those release points. And then also use some neurolinguistic programming to help push the person further down their path of intention. So just depending on the course that we're doing, neurolinguistic programming is the final push, get them out of their rut and onto their path of intentions.
That's amazing.
So the Amo breath, when you find these emotions, connect with them and release them, or move them is a better word. When they move, you feel them again. So if you find anxiety or anger or sadness, those emotions have been lodged in your body. I like to imagine the body like our high school hallway, which is like littered with lockers. And inside our body, inside those lockers, we store emotions. You can store them in your knee, you can store them in your heart, you can store them in your shoulder, you can store them in your tips of your fingers. So when we find them, when we open that locker and we give those emotions permission to move, we feel them. And the Amo breath came about from all the other stuff that I've done. Sounds like a bit like the universal Om.
Okay.
And so with the Amo breath, basically I visualize the light coming down from the universe down through the crown and through the throat and into the chest. So that's the O. So the light comes down. With the we imagine that light swirling around in our chest. And when it's doing so, no matter wherever the emotion is that we find, we imagine that emotion like swirling like spider webs and gray misty smoke pulling out of the body part or the area where we found the emotions into the heart center with that white light. So that white light's pulling that heavy energy out of where we found it into the chest. And then with the O, we send that energy out. So sometimes I visualize it. There was a cartoon in the 80s, the Care Bears, and they would like, they had little
Yeah.
emblems like luck or love or whatever, and they would get together and like kill the enemy that way or something.
Right. I remember that. Yes.
Then they shoot stuff out of their chest. That's basically it, right? So just you're gathering that energy in the heart, and letting it go.
That's fantastic.
And so when I started doing that, for me, one of the biggest emotions that I had embodied was anxiety. And it showed through, like, I used to bite my fingernails like crazy. I was always like real fidgety. And when that anxiety moves, man, it was, whoa, it's heavy, really just almost crippling. And so the Amo breath just took it away, took the pain away, took that anxiety away. And there's still some movement when someone first does this work. There is some movement of the emotions as well, some re-feeling, I guess you'd say it.
Okay.
And but the Amo breath really just cuts it down tremendously. So it's a lot more manageable, and you get the self-awareness, which is the end result, that we're looking for without as much pain.
I see. Well, that sounds amazing. And you have some workshops that are coming up. Is that right?
Yeah, man. We got the post-breakup discovery program. It's important a lot of people want to jump into a relationship and fill that void. But the thing is, you need to find out who you are first, right? So that void doesn't need to be filled. So you fill that void with yourself, with the love that you find for yourself. Again, like Amo Ni is about, it's I love you. And it's not like, I love you, Lauren. It's about I love you both, or
right. You being able to say that to yourself. Each person being able to say that to themselves.
Exactly.
Yes.
So, and the moment you can say that, the moment things completely change.
Is this a course that can be done in a remote setting?
Oh yeah, of course. Yeah.
Perfect.
So a lot of the work that I do, I would say 90% of the people.
I mean, that's good because you're in Taiwan. So
yeah,
I'm in Baltimore, United States, this stuff works, right?
It does. That's the thing, like, with what we're doing right now, like we're on a path of self-discovery, and the more that you pay attention to yourself, the more that you try to grow, the better we get. And it's just your experience is a reflection of that search for betterment. And
right. If you're not in a position where you want to heal, or you like deep down don't feel like you're worthy of healing, it's going to be hard to heal. But there are people out there that have tools, and it's, that can kind of figure out where that crack lies and open you up. And that's why I think it's so important. You said that you tried many different modalities before you found, muscle testing. I think it's fantastic that you tried, multiple things. And I that's what KarmaHuBB is all about. It's listening about different therapies, figuring out what resonates with you, and connecting with that particular practitioner in hopes that, they'll find that crack and open you up and really make that difference.
Yeah.
But I spoke to someone not long ago, and they said the first time they meditated, it just was, they were in like a blissful world. And I was like, wow, that's good for you. I have not achieved that.
Right. Exactly. Asshole.
But exactly. But different things are going to resonate with different people. And that's why, I put together this platform that offer many different methodologies to choose from. And and many different people that can offer them. And that's, of course, part of it too. It's all about, intention and where you feel comfortable and what you allow to open you up.
So many people believe that, like, we do this one thing and then we're like, this is absolute. This is the way it is. Like, this is,
Right.
there's nothing, absolutely nothing that's absolute. The possibilities are infinite, so there's no absolute. So
Right.
as long as you get what you're looking for, like, that's awesome.